Hello. Turn the music off. It's Saturday morning, and the 9th of December, and kind of like yesterday, I don't have anything real specific, but I felt like, not often, but sort of, it's like Monday through Friday, I'll make sure I make a video, and then on the weekends, maybe I'll take it off. But it's not set in stone. Depends on how I feel. So I feel like saying hello. I really do feel folks, and appreciate you letting me know. Thumpfinger sent me a message letting me know, explaining, why he watches the videos and how it is it gives him a sense of not being alone. I'm glad, and I'm sure he's not the only one. Well, actually, I've heard from a couple folks. So this is a safe way, well, mostly safe way to connect across a wide platform of people. So I'm just saying hello again and kind of telling you what my last day was like. I was saying that was thinking I might tape the cover of this, and I did. I went ahead because it's like I have no plans to sell these records. It's my intention to leave these records to my family. I sincerely hope that nothing catastrophic happens to me where I have to use the records as that I have to sell, because this is a gold mine. It is. I am aware of how much my record collection is basically worth to someone who would want. So, like, if someone came to me and offered me $100,000 for my record collection, would I take it? Nope. $100,000? No. That's too low. I know what I have in many ways. In a cellular, cerebral way, I know this collection is curated by me, a reflection of my personality and my interests, and it's very eclectic. There is not the typical stuff that you find in people's collections, only a few things like that. So I don't want to sell. If anything, I want to keep buying, And part of it is, for you other collectors, I watched a couple of you folks. I watched a couple of videos, some folks who went down to Phoenix. Mazzy and another guy went to the In-Groove. Buying records is fun, and it is an addiction. It is. And a compulsion, whatever you want to call it. But we all have something. So I shared with you recently that after the actors' strike was over, I got a call to do a part in an independent film that'll probably be out next year. I think it's called Counterpoint. And I had a very, very small part. When they asked me to do it, they said, we don't have much money to offer you. And I didn't even ask how much for it was. I just said, sure, I'll do it, because it's friends, people who I consider friends. And did the part. It was fun. I play a therapist in this movie. Looks like it might be good, but I wasn't even on set for half a day, and I got paid yesterday, and I was surprised. I was happy to, when they said, "Well, we don't have much money," I figured, "Oh yeah, they'll probably pay me $50." No. So I celebrated yesterday. Okay, I didn't spend it all, but I was very surprised and also very pleased to be that my presence was worth that, even for just a few minutes. I'll take more of this. So what got me to go to the store was in Homer's new releases update on Instagram. I was really happy, and I think that I tweaked this to happen. They showed that they got in for new releases. One of the Steve Hackett recent, well, they all just got released yesterday, but they got Steve Hackett's To Watch the Storms on vinyl. And when I went down to pick it up and talk to Mark about it, because Mark is my friend, and he said, yeah, the main guy, the manager, Mike, got it for me after seeing my post about getting the Steve Hackett at the other store. Oh, okay. So is that how I get? Is that how I get some action? Is to kind of like show you up. So y'all ain't been getting me what I'm wanting, but Stewart is. I chuckled, and Mark said, "Yeah, that's it. We got it for you, Dereck. You only got one copy. These prices suck, but they're not going down. I don't see the prices on new stuff going down. I see them going up. What can you do?" So, $46. Jeez, But I had this since it came out on CD, and I really do like the album. So, love Steve Hackett. He is one of my favorite guitarists. While I was down there, I perused the used, and I was happy. There was stuff in the used. What's nice is that I was able to get these records, get more records, have a digging experience, bring home some new records, and I didn't spend all of the money I made yesterday. That's, wow, that feels good. So in the used section, this is what I picked up. Fever Ray Plunge from the band The Knife. Now, I have the first Fever Ray album, which I really like. This one, I'm thinking I'm liking it, but this imagery, and there seems to be something about sexuality here that I'm not quite understanding. I don't know that I need to, but the music and her image, that's very stark, and it's like I don't exactly understand the thinking behind it, but I'm intrigued. Okay, I'll put it like that. And that's just some really intense imagery. The music is interesting. This has a big poster too. Apparently this came with an outer bag that was like a plastic bag full of blood. Well, I don't need that, and it wasn't there in the used section with it. No problem to me. I've listened to the whole album all the way through because that's how I find this band interesting. It's like, what are they going to do next? What are they going to do next? It's electronic based, which, I like electronics. This is good. It's kind of strange, but it's good. Glad to get that. There's a couple more. So I picked this up. Was it two more records? Did I get two more records? One or two? Yeah, a couple. Here's the rest of what I got. So this was like $5, and I have Alan Stivell albums. Harp player. I don't want to get it wrong. He's from a particular part of France, if I'm correct. But this was down there. $5, $5.99 basically. It's like I don't need another Stivell album, but I like the cover. It looks like this is a live album in Dublin. The other thing about it is that musician Dan R. Bra, I have a couple of his albums, played with Stivell, and Dan R. Bra's albums are really good. more on the prog folk side. But I like this music in general. I told you I like folk music. This has the original insert poster and everything. And so thankfully this was not just a, oh, I want to buy something. I played this yesterday. I like this. He has, I have one of his albums that's like some sort of award winner. It won awards. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. This is some fine music, you know. Folk, basically, you know. Beautiful. Finally got a copy of this. After all these years, I've had A.R. Kane in my collection. The first album, not the first album, the second album, but I've never owned their first album. Finally got a copy of it. I can't see the title with my blind self. 69. And for you folks that don't know, A.R. Kane was a band of black fellas who were way ahead of the curve, which is often the case regarding dream pop and shoegaze. These guys, you hear this stuff and it's very psychedelic and woozy and weird and captivating. They opened the door for a lot of bands, you know, and bands cite them as an influence. A.R. Kane, this is pretty cool. I'm glad I got it. Two more. This one, this is good. And I regret they played in Omaha, I think last year or the year before, and I just didn't bother to go, and I missed one. Gorilla Toss is the name of the band. And this is Famously Alive. Came out in 2022. This was in the used section, still sealed, so I got it brand new at a used price. I love color and I love images. I'm a visual person, very visual. So I love the cover. I already knew because I've watched a couple of their videos after the fact of the show. I missed one. So I knew I was going to like this. And I do. This is prog. It's like a modern version of prog in a way. And I got the loser edition. You know how they call their first editions, Sub Pop's first editions, they'll call them the loser edition. This is really good. Real good. I cannot think of a band to compare them to, although I'm sure there are some modern bands that compare. They're just very inventive. They list, besides instruments, each person does sound design. It's what I do. When I went to Japan in the 90s, when they made up my business card, I still have them from in Japan. My job title was sound designer, not sound engineer or composer, sound designer. And that's how they describe what they do on here. It's very good. Here, I picked this up because now I'm going to give credit where credit's due. Someone in the VC, I forget who, sent me a CD of this band. I had not listened to them. I had seen the name of the band, probably kept getting it mixed up with some other band with a similar name. Really liked the CD, so when I saw this in the used, I said, score. Horse Lords, Comradely Objects. And this is new. This is 2022. This is really good. Again, I'm giving a bit of my opinion, but also my background. If you're not familiar with polyrhythms and the origins of polyrhythms out of Africa, and you hear this, you'll say, oh, that's math rock. Well, it is, but it's actually very African. The polyrhythms, see, they get it right. That's what's cool about this, is that these people, with their use of polyrhythms and the layering of the structures like this, they get it right, and it hits a vibe. That's what I was so happy. Even on the first track on this album, they hit it. About halfway through, they hit the point where it becomes magic. things are like interlocking, like interlacing. It's like, ooh, this is thrilling. This is thrilling. Yeah, I love music. I love art. I love expression, creativity. It's better than watching movies for me. It stimulates a whole lot in here, which is the place that this is the center of our experience. It's our brain. Haven't made the side 2 yet. Looking forward to it. Besides buying these records, I'm just hot in the studio. I'm recording every day. I come up with another. Started 2 more new pieces yesterday. And one of the things that I picked up on in watching tutorials about Ableton and electronic music is how people use reference tracks, which is something I've actually never done very specifically. It's like something will come up that I like, and I'll say, ooh, I wonder if I can do something like that. And that's every now and then, but mostly it's just me going off the top of my head. But I was watching video, and the old video for this song by MC 900 Put Jesus with DJ Zero came up. I'm Going Straight to Heaven. The groove on this is killer. And so, just like with the Julian Cope the day before, I said, I wonder if I can cop that beat. I wonder if I can figure out how to get that groove. Because I know how to program the beat, but it's getting it to move like it does on here. This is very groovy if you haven't heard it. I haven't quite got it. I'm close. I'm going to work on it some more today. And I'm doing my own thing, but I'm not making a version of that. I use that as my touchstone, my reference. So really enjoying working on music these days. Supposedly, I'll have Blake here tomorrow. Supposedly. Here's an album I pulled. Someone sent it to me. I think the label sent it to me. Oh, yeah, Shamoni out of Sweden, I think. Victor Zeidner, if you happen to see this, how you doing? Haven't received any music from them from a while, and I did a project with them. I'm on one of their compilation releases that's digital only, but I'm on their label, L'Amour. But they sent this to me. Camila De Laborde is the artist's name. Camila De Laborde. The name of this EP is Opuntia. And this is moody electronics. She doesn't sound like Nico, but as I listened, that came to mind. It's kind of stark and dark, but good. I love it. I was in the C section, and so I pulled this because I forget the background of this person. I think there's some relationship to Boards of Canada, possibly. Christ is the artist. Blue Shift Emissions. And I don't know if that's a numbered, if this is a numbered or what, but this is really good. This came out, see, because I was surprised. It's like, I know it's older. I think this goes back to the 90s, but I can't tell. I have to look it up. So there was an aspect of it where I can tell that it's older, but it was still sounding really contemporary and really good. Blue Shift Emissions. So that's some stuff sitting out. Anything else? Yeah. Listen to some of this yesterday while waiting for my money to arrive. Cosey, Fanni, Tutti, formerly of Chris and Cosey and Throbbing Gristle. This is some music. 8 soundscapes serve as an audio self-portrait. Initially conceived and performed live as the soundtrack to the autobiographical film Harmonic Come Action. And this is good stuff. I played this out in the other room. The fidelity of that stereo out there is kind of mind-blowing to me. This stereo in here is good, but the bass response out there, it's like, ooh. That's another way that I do my recordings, is I A/B them on my systems, you know. And if I can get my shit to sound good here at the house, I know I'm doing something right. So that's what I. Excuse me. Oh, one more. This got played. Tony Banks from Genesis. On Instagram can be full of crap, but there's also a lot of music, like Vernon Reid and Ice-T. I follow them, and I get likes from them, depending on what I post. So it feels like a real interaction. But Tony Banks and Genesis have a large presence on Instagram too. So I'm always seeing posts about Genesis's history. And this came up, and so I said, I haven't played this in a while. This isn't a bad album. It's not great, but it's not bad. Tony Banks his voice is really forgettable. That's, I think, the main thing. And he's tried to work with other vocalists. Mostly, I think he's made bad choices. He made a couple good songs with Fish, but he's chosen some other nameless people. To me, it's like, why did you choose them? Their voices are not compelling to me. But the music on here, overall, is good. I like his chord voicings and choices. And I have this 12-inch single off the album, This Is Love. Tony inspired me, early on in Genesis. His use of chords and the way he'd be looking for unusual changes. I love that. I don't have his knowledge of chords, but I chased that idea in my music. So, geez, I just thought I'd come on and say hello, and it's 20 minutes already. That's amazing, to me, how time just is liquid. So, no family Zoom this weekend. We'll be getting back to it soon, I think. I actually have two things that will take me out of the house this weekend at night. And I like to, if I'm not playing, I like to stay at home. But I have some events. I'm the guest of a podcast tomorrow night here in Omaha, where it's broadcast and live from the fella's home, Al Hatfield. So I'm going to go do that. And then Monday night, David Nance is having a gathering. I'm definitely going to go to that. So whatever you do, make it good. Let me know how you're doing. Take care.